Hello and welcome. I'm Lanre Lasisi, and it's nice to have you with us as we look at what lawmakers in the National Assembly were able to do in their second week of plenary in the year 2016. Now, the National Assembly appears to have the attention of everyone right now after the whole drama over the 2016 appropriation bill as regards its whereabouts. The lawmakers resumed on Tuesday, and that was a key point on the other paper in both chambers. The investigation into the crude oil swap arrangement of the NNPC commenced this week also, so we have details of that for you. Our first report, however, is on the trip made by a delegation from the House of Representatives to Malaysia for the 23rd Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth. Here it is. Speakers and presiding officers of parliaments of 39 countries of Commonwealth nations. They're here for the 23rd Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth, taking place in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah in Malaysia. It's an opportunity for them to discuss issues confronting parliamentary democracy in its various forms in their countries. Welcoming members to his country, the Speaker of the Malaysian House of Representatives touched on some of the challenges confronting the Parliament.
Whilst we aim for legislative accountability and transparency, the advent of a high level of technology in the social media is rather unfortunately at times exposed the legislature and us as speakers, in particular, to much skepticism and cynicism and being unfairly judged. It is we speakers who can build a bridge between the public's perception and the reality of the situation.
The Deputy Speaker of the Nigerian House of Representatives, who led the delegation from Nigeria, said the low perception of the legislature is unfortunate.
When you say you are representing them, you have oversight function to perform and law to make, they still don't believe in those functions. And so, public sees the legislative arm of government as parasite. And we are bedeviled with this perception, and as long as you try hard to change it, you can only do it through the functions that you perform.
His host, however, says the problem may be due to the lawmakers themselves.
When parliamentarians do not observe decorum, then that is where you have bad image about parliament from the public. Another one is also the attitudes of parliamentarians, particularly those who are responsible, if I can use that word, by abusing the rights that they have as leaders.
In the course of the conference, a lot of issues were considered. One key issue considered throughout was the orientation and development of parliamentarians. The lawmakers agree that given the critical role of the parliament and the diverse backgrounds of parliamentarians, it is essential that those elected are properly equipped. The leader of the Nigerian delegation says this is being adversely affected by the low number of legislators that are re-elected back to the parliament.
I will still appeal to our people to know that experience matters a lot in the job of a legislator. It matters a lot, and the rate of turnover is so high. Like in the 8th Assembly, we have close to 200 new members. And no matter how brilliant you are, it will take you average of between 9 to 12 months before you begin to understand how legislative arm of government works.
The speakers also agree that there are challenges confronting the parliament that must be tackled.
Certainly the percentage of people voting has been in decline over recent decades, and that has to be a matter of concern. I think we have to address the issues of how we engage young people, well, in the wider population, in terms of getting them to vote. We also need to address the issues of media, the use of new technologies in engaging people with the parliamentary system, I think.
I am saying that if all these people were so interested, they should come and see what their representatives are doing, come and see what's happening. What they decide to do is to stay in the background and criticize. Of course, we are still under a duty to try as much as possible to make it more open, to include them, and so on, and we will try to do that. But I think it's really a cop-out for people to simply say, look, we're not interested in what's happening and it's the parliamentarian fault. I don't buy that.
They also considered how to bridge the widening gap between parliaments and their citizens.
What I found interesting most is a suggestion that, for instance, the Public Accounts Committee should go beyond merely auditing, that they should consider, for instance, reviewing public policy issues around the Public Accounts Committee.
And we have to try and go to our people and teach them as to what to expect from their parliamentarians so that they can get to trust Parliament. They can only trust us if they know what we do and how we do it and how we work with the executive.
At the end of the day, the legislators agree that it was a worthwhile conference.
I found the conference excellent, very interesting. Not only were there good discussions in the assembly here and in workshops, but you know, some of the best discussions were the ones we had in the hallways, speaker to speaker, and having conversations about some of the topics that were raised here in the assembly.
So I think it gives us an opportunity to interrogate issues. It also gives us an opportunity as speakers to see how we are faring in our discharge of responsibilities. As you know, the role of a speaker is a very arduous task.
And I think my eyes were opened to the fact that you know, the way Malaysia operates is a bit different here and there, but there are similarities. So it's very good to come together like this and share, and you listen to the others commenting. Then we get to know what is happening. And that helps you on what you should go back and work on to make better.